Hey man, how's it going?
Not bad, not bad. No more cowboy ghost, right? You gotta understand something. I ride the Clancers. I have the answers. I play Greek dodgeball with a Virgin Titty. Just me, Marina Light Years, and a lot of shaking.
Welcome to Remember 64, where this week we...
Shake, 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 shake.
Welcome to the show, everyone. My name is David Petrangelo, and this week we're playing and chatting about Mischief Makers. Momentarily, I'll be joined by the one and only Slankovom, a wonderfully fun and entertaining gamer and content creator over on YouTube. She is very excited to be here, and I'm very excited to finally have her on the show to talk about this very unique title, I would say. But that'll come up in just a few moments. Until that time, though, just a reminder that patreon.com/remember64 show is where you can get episodes early, video content early, help us pick what games we might be playing coming up in the future. And you can also get a free holographic sticker with the Remember 64 logo on it. Any new signups, there's a limited supply, but any new signups will get one of those in the mail. All you have to do is email me at remember64show@gmail.com and let me know that you're a patron, and boom, it's on its way to you in the mail. Remember 64 is a very proud member of the Tokyo Beat Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Mono, the host of Tokyo Game Life, a Tokyo-based video game podcast focusing on Nintendo and gaming culture in Japan's capital. It's your slice of gaming life from Tokyo. Every episode features deep dives into gaming-related places to visit in Tokyo, interviews with fans, developers, and experts, plus detailed thoughts on both retro and new games. Tokyo Game Life, only on the Tokyo Beat Network.
Okay, let's bust out the history books, everyone.
I'm learning.
We're heading back to October of 1997. Mischief Makers, if you didn't know, was the very first 2D platformer on the Nintendo 64. We've talked about a few on this podcast, including games like Yoshi's Story, but I'm guessing there isn't one quite like this. The title was developed by Treasure and published by Enix in Japan and Nintendo internationally. In the game, you play as Marina Light Years. No, not Buzz Lightyear. She's a robotic maid who's trying to rescue her creator from the Emperor of Planet Clancer. Okay, that's a very brief overview, but development on the game began about 16 months before the N64 was released, and at that time, little was known about the console itself. Nintendo had things pretty far under wraps. When Treasure was told it was a cartridge-based console, they had to shift some strategy, as it was the first time for many of them on the team that they would not be creating a game on a CD-ROM. A select few did come from Konami, though, where they worked on Castlevania and Contra in the past for the NES. But the team has said in past interviews that the N64 was restrictive at the time, and that made the development process much more difficult early on in its life cycle. In a separate interview with IGN, Treasure's CEO said that the catching or grabbing mechanic in the game was something they really wanted to do, but it proved to be quite difficult. In the end, it says that the team of 15 developers were able to achieve what they wanted with the limited resources they were awarded at the time. With a little bit of help from Enix as the publisher, Treasure says they were able to implement most of what they were striving for in Mischief Makers. This was an interesting scenario, though, as it was just months prior that Enix announced it would be ending its exclusivity deal with Nintendo and releasing its Dragon Quest games for Sony and PlayStation. The initial plan was for Mischief Makers to only be released in Japan, but when the Big N stepped in, they put together a localization team and off they went and released the game internationally. Mischief Makers didn't fly off store shelves, with many estimating that sales may have dipped more than expected because gamers at the time were looking for a 3D experience instead of a somewhat familiar 2D one. That is, after all, how the consoles in that generation were marketed. Regardless, it still sold just under 500,000 units worldwide, according to a couple of estimates out there, and despite what Enix may have thought or wanted to do at the time, the North American version actually sold the most. Today's show is brought to you by EPOS Gaming Audio, with a comprehensive lineup of both wired and wireless headsets, gaming amplifiers, microphones, and webcams. EPOS has everything you need to experience the power of audio. Like their H6 Pro lineup, which features two versions, an open or closed headset. The closed headset allows you to tap into exceptionally detailed audio and seals out ambient noise, while the open version delivers natural, high-fidelity audio with an incredible soundstage. Both headsets include a magnetic, detachable microphone and a sleek design that has no wild RGB configurations, just good design. Listeners can save 15% by visiting www.eposaudio.com/gaming and entering the code EPOSFRIEND15 at checkout. That is EPOS Audio, EPOSAUDIO.com/gaming, and entering the code EPOSFRIEND15, no spaces, no underscores, no points. All of that can be entered at checkout for a 15% discount.
Shake, shake.
Okay, as always, it is discussion time. It is Mischief Makers chatting time, and I'm really happy. I said this before I hit record that I wanted to have Slonko on the episode or on a show of any kind for months, and I don't know, life got in the way or it slipped my mind. It's my fault. But thankfully now, Slonko is here to talk about Mischief Makers. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to finally be here. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really happy that, and I've said this before in other episodes too, but I'm always happy to be able to play a game that someone else is passionate about, or has fond memories of and everything, because it's not like, I do this show, but it's not really about me. It's about the games and it's about the people that play them and everything. So I'm extra excited that we get to talk about something like this, because
me too.
You
I feel
posted
like nobody ever talks about this game.
Exactly. So there you go. So we'll get into the game in just a sec. I think before, so I don't forget, which clearly I have done in the past. Why don't we talk about yourself a little bit, because you do some really great work on YouTube and everything. I want everybody to let everybody know what you do and how you do it, and I'll let you sort of take the reins from there.
Okay. Well, hi guys. My name is Slonko Bomb Slonks, and I'm a content creator on YouTube. I basically love video games, just like you guys probably do. Yes, I've been playing video games probably since 1989, 1990, starting off with the OG consoles. Nintendo was my first console, all the way up to the current consoles, and I just love sharing my gaming adventures, and I love letting people know predominantly about the Nintendo Switch, what games are coming out for Nintendo Switch, and I also like to spotlight games that I'm playing on other consoles as well. So yeah, we just have a good time. That's all.
And where can everyone find it? Because you have I said this, I've been saying this as I've watched more and more of your stuff. It's just like your personality, your channel, everything is very happy and positive, and all of that stuff that we need more of, or needs to be more at the forefront. So I want people to experience that as well. Where can they find it?
Well, you can find it on YouTube. It's at www.youtube.com/SlonkoBomb. All the O's are zeros. And you can also find me on Twitter as well at SlonkoBomb. Amazing.
Okay, so
thank you.
You mentioned that you've had all this long experience with video games, as many people have, and the N64 is either a big or a small part of it. I'll ask you. So let's talk about the 64. Let's talk about, before we get to the game itself, what was your experience with it growing up? What is it sort of now? Was it a long-lived thing? Was it brief? What kind of games did you play growing up? Let's get into that first.
Well, I love Nintendo. Actually, my community, some of them call me Nintendo Mama. So Nintendo 64 was, I know.
I love it. No, it's great. Don't hide. It's amazing.
Yeah, Nintendo Mama. But Nintendo 64 was very special to me. It's not my favorite Nintendo console. I will put that out there.
Hey,
Super
not mine
Nintendo
either. Just because I
is-
do this show doesn't mean it's my favorite.
Oh my god, I'm surprised. I thought it
yeah.
was. I'm a Super Nintendo girl. So seeing that
So am
we're going to
I.
progress
So
to
am I.
something, oh, awesome. We have to
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
So seeing that Nintendo was progressing, we're going to get, 64-bit games. I was really excited. And my brother actually got it. He's older than I, so he had a Nintendo 64 before I did. And he was very stingy with it. So I was begging my mom, please, mom, I need this. And Christmas 1997, that's when I got the limited edition gold controller, Toys R Us.
Oh.
Yes, I know. I was like, this is heaven.
Oh.
And of course, we all see that rectangle box, and you're like, okay, it's a game, but like, what game is it?
Right.
And it was Mischief Makers.
No way! What?
Yes.
No
yeah,
way.
so that's
Oh my
why
God.
like this game means so much to me. I'm like, Mom, like how did you what do you know about Mischief Makers? Like what is this? And I was a subscriber of Nintendo Power, so I vaguely recall reading about it, but not really knowing too much about it. And
Right.
chef's kiss. I love this game.
That's amazing. You know what? Even though you said that you had a history with this game, even before we hit record and all that kind of stuff, and we're sort of figuring this out and everything, I somehow still did not expect that would be the game that you said you were going to open. I don't know why. I just didn't.
Of course. Well, like Nintendo 64 came out in 96, right?
Yeah.
So everybody was playing, Super Mario 64. Like that was the game everybody like pretty
But
much
also
got
there
their
wasn't
64 with.
there wasn't a huge library of games in that first year. Like it really was
Right.
not massive because from the way things seem, it was really hard to, get things out in time and develop for, because
Sure.
Nintendo was really stingy about getting their technology out there. So it's just like
They still are.
they still are, but they were like keeping things so under wraps that it was like,
Yeah.
come on. Anyways,
I don't know, like what were some of the games that came out? Like it was Super Mario 64, I think maybe Mario Kart.
Yeah,
what else was out that year?
Wave Race was
Wave
out.
Race 64.
Cruisin' USA, I think, was early enough. That was probably just Killer Instinct was definitely one of them.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah,
awesome
yeah.
game,
It's
by the way.
and like Killer Instinct Gold too. So it was like this. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Probably. Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, there wasn't that many.
So-
Shadows of the Empire, Star Wars was a really early one, and then Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and that's kind of like the
Right.
there wasn't.
that
a
was
ton.
it.
Yeah.
That was it. So everybody in my neighborhood was either playing Mario Kart 64, Killer Instinct Gold, Wave Race 64. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. And that's all dandy, but I tend to really love platformers. I've always played platformers.
Right.
I pride myself in being pretty decent at them.
Nice.
So that's why this game really means a lot to me, because it was literally right up my alley, and it was just such a great surprise to me personally.
Does it still sort of feel that way now? Is it mostly off memory? Is it sort of like have you played it since, and have you played it enough since? Like is it mostly a nostalgia thing? And that's totally fair if it is, because believe me, there's lots of games on like NES and Genesis and stuff that I've played that I pick up later. I'm just like I liked this. Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I would say for me, nostalgia is a hell of a drug. It's for me. It hits so bad.
Oh, yeah.
For me, I haven't played this game probably in about 15 years.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I would love it still to this day, but I can't say for sure if like the mechanics still hold up and
Right.
such. Again, I still play plenty of platformers today, so I'm still thinking I would love the experience as much. Well, it depends. There are some things about it that I'm like, I don't know if I can handle it anymore, because that game, there were some challenges with it for sure.
What stuff stands out, or what stuff do you remember like that?
So the game. So I don't know if you haven't beaten the game yet, but
I did finish it.
Oh, you did?
I did. Yeah, I
Oh, you
did
finished it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So there's these gems you have to collect, And in each stage, there's gold gems, and they're either hidden or whatnot very well.
They're harder to
secretive,
get,
blah,
really.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
They're so much harder to get.
Yeah.
But with the bosses, you have to defeat the bosses without getting hit. And that part really I don't know if I have the patience anymore. When I'm like 13 years old, yeah, I had the patience, I had the skills, I had the reflexes to dodge missiles and whatever they're throwing at me.
And let's be honest,
now,
you had the time.
the time too. So, that part really is not the most appealing to me. I used to be more of a completionist, and now that I'm a lot older, it's, you know what, let me just get through the game. But also a part of the game is you have to get all of the gold gems in order to see the complete ending of the game. And so that would bug me so much that I would get all these gems and I'm missing one and I don't know what happens at the end.
Right.
I do know what happens at the end, but I'm just saying, like, as an adult, like, it'd be nice to see.
Yeah. So I completed it, and I was going through the game not knowing this whole gem situation. I didn't.
Oh.
So for me, so here's the other thing about doing shows like this and playing games, either through emulation or on just a cartridge and stuff.
Sure.
I'm sure I could go and find the manual of this game online and flip through it, and it would give me some information, but I tend to forget, or I don't do it because I'm just going to jump into the game and just experience it. Sort of like, I'm renting this game from Blockbuster and I'm just going to play it for the week. That's kind of how I approach some of these, especially if it's like a single player platformer like this. I'm sitting there going, how complicated is this? I'm like, I got this. I got it, right? So that's sure. Wait, at least so I told myself. And that's what I did with this. I was like, you know what? It'll be fine. I'll figure it out. I kind of remember playing this at a friend's place. I think I told you earlier that, like, one of our family friends, she had a 64, and she was the only person. This is the same person. If anyone listens to the Yoshi's Story episode, it's the same person that had Yoshi's Story and this game. And
she has phenomenal taste,
right? And but it's the only person I knew that had those games, outside of the typical Mario Kart and Zelda, and those were sort of like her side games, or whatever you want to call them, like sort of like next tier down or whatever. Anyways, I played them at the same household, and that's the only experience I have with this game. And I was like, okay, I kind of remember these early levels. Like, I remember the shake, of course. Like, how could you not?
Shake.
How could you not?
1 million times throughout the game.
Right, exactly. So like all those things, I was like, okay, I got this. And I went into it and I found a couple of those gold gems and I, picked them up. I'm like, oh, it's giving me a bunch of health. Great. Cool. They're sort of like getting 50 coins at once or something. That's kind of what it feels like, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Did I know that it had anything to do with the ending or the bosses? Nope. I had no. Did I know that it was counting how many I had? I had no idea. I didn't know there was like an overall tally. I was just like, sure, I got 2 of them on this stage. Great. Cool. I found it. So and then the bosses, like, no chance I'm going without getting hit. Like, no way.
Right, exactly. No. That was like top tier get good gaming back then. Like, I'm not, and I did it. It was like one of the achievements of my damn life. I got all the gems in this game. I know the ending.
I thought you knew the ending because you looked it up.
No, this is a personal experience. Like,
oh my God.
Team Slonko was really good at this. I mean, it took blood, sweat, and tears. Sure. A lot of tears, but I got it. But if I were to do it now, no way. I have
yeah. And some of the boss fights are pretty interesting. I found them kind of funny because there was one. I think it's the second or third world, I think is what they call them, where you're sort of in like the lava and you're underground and all that stuff.
Yes. Are you talking about the bull?
Yeah, a bull, but he like comes out of the lava and stuff. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. This feels like other games, but they're sort of doing their own thing with it where you have to grab them and stuff. But it's so funny the way that they implement the grabbing and punching sort of mechanic, because you basically make him just punch himself over and over, and he gets like all dizzy, and then you hit him. And I'm just like, this is hilarious. Like, that's what they're doing, because she never kicks anyone. You can throw bombs and things like that. Like, but it's not. It's all cartoon violence, which fair enough. It's sort of anime and everything. But
Yeah,
just the
sure.
fact that you're literally throwing a fist back at this guy's face, I was like, this is great. This is so funny.
Top tier. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I really enjoyed sort of some of those like silly elements of it. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's a little too over the top anime kind of thing for me, which is not usually my bread and butter. So I think,
I
you know,
see.
it just is, you know, that is what it is. That's a very personal thing. Not everyone has that experience. I'm not sure about yourself, but you know, sometimes I was like, what is going on here and why? I want to.
The whole anime thing, like I think I also read that they weren't sure that this like type of material would even mesh well with the like North American audience. But I will say what was really weird is like this guy is like 80 years old and he's kind of like thirsty for this.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, is this
right?
okay? Is this okay?
No, it's not.
Well, you know, when you're like 14 years old, you're like, okay, this is like, okay, it's just the game, fine. But like, when you look at it with adult eyes, it's like, it's a pervy professor that like, I don't even know what he wants to do with her. But like, okay, you just shake it off and play the game. Like, literally shake it off.
literally say shake and keep going. Yeah. Like, why are you saving this guy? Like, why are you saving him? He's a creep.
Okay.
Like, what are you doing?
Such a creep.
And it's right off the bat too, right? Like I did not remember that part at all, but it's like literally the opening, I guess you could call it cinematic, before you even press start to play the game. It's him like creeping behind her, being like, ooh, with like his hands. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
She knows that she's not about that life, so she like throws him away.
100%.
So she's smart enough to know. Yeah, like
she's smart enough, she's badass enough, she has the abilities, you know, all that. Great. I like that. Like she's great, but why bother saving this guy? He's not he's your creator, I guess, is sort of the story. So okay, there's some sort of like, you know, Frankenstein attachment thing to it maybe or something. I don't know.
Sure.
But
I don't know. Loyalty to a fault, honestly. Because I'm like, what is the appeal here? Girl.
I don't know, man. And then when you get to the end, I don't know. So I didn't get a certain like full ending or whatever, but it is related to what we're talking about. So I think I looked this up, but I think the full ending is just as creepy and just as weird.
It's awful. I almost wish I didn't get the last gem. I was like, what is happening here? He's still being a perv and he has like little like booger in his nose and he's like foaming at the mouth as spoilers, you know, she turns into like a real girl and he's still like,
Yeah, so it's okay. So that's the other thing. The way you phrase it, I don't know why I thought like Frankenstein when really I should have just said Pinocchio, because when you say real girl, it's like, oh yeah, real boy, like Pinocchio. So essentially, what happens is you save him at a certain point, and then you go back to your house or his house or whatever it is, and using the gems that you've collected, if you have all of them, I think this is what it is she turns into multiple stages or a certain version of I don't know if it depends how many gems you have, but the long play that I watched, when there was like 1 or 2 gems left, she turned into a girl, but it was only half girl, half robot still. And then another gem was used, and then she turned into what was supposed to be a full girl. And he's like super excited.
He's
and he's
in
like,
love.
he's like, like you said, he's like drooling or something. It's so fucking creepy and weird. And then it's like game over. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's it, done. It's like, oh, okay, well, was it worth it? To me, it was, but not because of the ending, just because of the satisfaction of knowing, okay, there's nothing left to do in this game. You know, like,
right?
Just for that only. I could have totally done without that part.
I think a lot of people could have. Let's be honest. It's.
I hope so.
I sure as hell hope so. It's just so weird because the journey to get to that point, whether you get all the gems or you don't, is pretty, you know, full-fledged. There's a lot of different mechanics. They're really random, honestly. Like some stuff that you do makes no fucking sense. I have no idea. Like early in the game, you pick up one of the little guys, which, by the way, the guys that are the enemies and the ones that you're gonna save, like they're sort of like like they look like Ghostface.
The Clancers.
Yeah, they look like Ghostface from Scream. That's what they look like for me. Like that's. So to me, they look
They're
creepy.
so sweet. Come on. They're
Some
so
of them
lovely.
are. Some of them are.
They
It's
all look like they're like in pain.
yeah, yeah. Either they're in pain or they're hiding a knife in their back pocket. I don't know which one. It's one of those two. So, but you know, at one point you pick one of them up and then you shake them. It says, "Oh, shake me," and it turns into like this giant like block mech.
Oh
type
yes,
of thing.
totally. Yeah. That part is so awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because you're doing something different. Like there's a lot of different ideas in this game, which is really fun.
Oh yeah.
Why it's happening and why this guy just needs to be shaken to turn into basically a transformer, I have no idea. But I'm like, all right, I'll go with it for the next like 45 seconds of the level because really the levels are really short and
It
everything.
was so short, yeah. It
Yeah.
was so short. I mean, the game is like, I say it's like very chaotically cute. Like there's just so much variety and there's just so much involved in the game. Like first you'll just be going from point A to B, then the next stage you're riding on a kitty, and then the next stage you're on a missile trying to balance it out with your weight, and then you're on a bicycle. It's just
I was gonna say
mayhem.
you're a little kid on a bike. It's just like what is happening?
Although that stage is a pain in the ass. Like
It
that
is.
one has a core memory, like it has ingrained in my brain.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of why I like this because it was so. I never knew what to expect. The only thing I knew what to expect was to shake. Just shake freaking everything.
And it's not a bad mechanic. I kind of get the idea, and then you have her
gimmicky,
boosters.
you know?
Yeah, it's gimmicky. Yeah, every once in a while, it's like, did I really need to do that? But yeah, and then you have the C buttons that you do with for her boosters and stuff. Those are cool. I just wish that when I was playing it, every once in a while, I think this is probably because you get used to more modern games where they have mechanics that are similar to that, where a double jump or something like gives you a little bit of extra height or boost or more of what it gives you here. So it's almost like you have to do this combo of like up and right if you want to get to a higher ledge on the right. You don't just press double jump. You don't just press jump and up C. So it's sort of like this. It took me, I think, the entire first world, which is not super long, but it took me a while to be like, okay, I get how this works now, because it's almost like the jetpack is underpowered in some ways, and I think it only feels that way because like I said, I think it's just because we're used to other mechanics in newer generations of games. I think that's really it. I don't think that makes the game any worse. It does make it a little frustrating sometimes because some of the jumps are a little bit like lackluster, it feels, and everything, but. Also, what am I going to do? Fault? Yeah, am I going to fault a game that came out 25, 27 years ago? Like, I get it. Like, I get it. That's what they
I
could
do
do.
feel like I do feel like that is one of the cons that a lot of people mention that have actually played the game is the movements. They feel like a little bit stiff, and yes, like the first world is really like the whole tutorial. Like you really should pay attention on what to do, because these are the moves that are going to get you to get those gold gems to not get hit by the boss or whatnot. So like I think they do a good job of teaching you how, but like to actually master that's a whole nother level. At least to me it was.
No, I agree. And that's what it felt like. Like I think when I was playing through it, I played like a world at a time sort of thing. I sat there and I did half an hour here, an hour there, 45 minutes here, an hour, and it took, I don't know exactly how long it took, but it took at least a few hours to get through the game and stuff with a couple of replays and stuff like that. Not too bad. Honestly, pretty good for that. I feel like some of the boss battles lasted a little too long. You had to hit them a little like too many times. I was like, okay, I get it. I'm punching the bull 5 times in the face. I get it. Okay. All right, 15 times. Okay. All right, 25 times. It's just felt like a lot.
It's a lot of like pattern recognition too.
Yes.
It doesn't change, but as you go along, it does get like a little bit harder. I do remember the bird, Falco.
Yes.
The damn sword. Oh my God, this bird drove me bananas, and that was actually probably one of the last gems I could get, because there was no way I could get through that without getting hit. He does like this like spinning thing. Oh god, it's
There's a
murderous,
lot,
murderous.
yeah, there's a lot of moves that are yes, like you said, pattern recognition, but every once in a while, for some reason, like, okay, I played them a couple times, like this one in particular, actually, now that you mention it, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I played this a couple times, I think I got it, and then somehow I didn't get it. Like, I was just like, what is going on with my mind? How did I not? I knew that was going to happen, and yet here I am, sitting there like an
It's
idiot.
like that. It's like that period where you're like, you've been playing for so long that you just start sucking more and more and more, and then you're like, you know what? Let me just put it down for like a day and come back to it.
Yeah,
You get it eventually.
Well, yeah, and for someone who was such a completionist on this game, I can imagine that at the time you probably had to, right? Like, there's no way you could just.
Oh, 100%. But, you know, back then I totally had more time too. And I had more patience and I had more drive to actually want to put myself through that pain of not wanting, you know, to get hit. Like, I could beat the boss, but take it up a notch and not get hit. Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive. To me, that kind of stuff is really impressive in games in general. It's almost like speed runs and stuff. Like, those types of things I cannot wrap my head around. Yeah, but I actually would say that, you know, going through a game like this, not getting hit, collecting all these things is not that far off. Yeah, you could repeat it and it's not a quote unquote speed run, but it's an impressive feat to be able to do it. It doesn't matter when you do it. It doesn't matter if you're 13 or if you're 30. Like, it really doesn't matter. Some of these games, man, like, you know, we just played Jet Force Gemini, and like, you have to, in a similar way, you have to collect all the tribals to get to the final boss, and I'm like, I can't do that.
But that's the thing. I don't like games like that. They kind of like close off the story until you collect everything. I don't like that. Like, give me it's an option to get the gold gems in this game.
We said the same thing. It was just like, I want to get to the ending. I want to fight the final boss. I want to do this stuff. Like, I want to get to the end of this, and I just. It's not happening. So I watched it. So, like, similar to this, to watch the other ending, I watched the real ending in Jet Force and stuff too. But so I think for the most part, the game is good. It's just a little frustrating sometimes. For me, playing it past the first or past the second world, pretty much, I don't really remember anything past the second world, was cool to experience. So that was fun to go back to and be able to like so it's so strange how this game I played so little of like 26 years ago, and I still remembered certain things. Like, why?
Like what?
Well, like almost the entire first world I remembered.
Yeah. Maybe
I don't remember exactly what I needed to do, but like chasing the little kids and giving them back to their mom.
Oh, those bad kids.
Yeah, and they're just like running in circles. I'm just like, you stupid kids, stop moving. Why are you jumping over fire? This is ridiculous.
I know. I'm like, that's like so totally safe, but okay, kid, do you?
Yeah. You know, like, hey, mom, why don't you help out and like at least call their name instead of just like standing there?
And then after that, she's like, oh, where's my husband? I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah.
There's got to be a reason why everyone's running away from you. But I digress.
Oh my god! I mean, hey, she's just trying to be really nice. She's a nice robot hero. I get it, you know, or android, whatever, you know. I get it. But like, those things somehow I remembered. Of course, like I said before, I remember the shake. Like, before I turned the game on, I just remembered that tone. So
you can't forget it. You cannot forget it. I think that's probably like one of my gripes about the game. As adorable as that shake is, I do wish that they added a little bit more voices, a little bit, you know, there's the wah and all that stuff. That's cute, but the shake, give me something else, man.
Yeah. And then when you finish some of the levels, like the bosses and stuff, she's like, wahoo! Like little things like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's cute.
I actually really like that one.
I like it too. I thought it was fun. And she does like a little like pose. She almost does, you know, a little like dance and just pose thing. Yeah, it's kind of, she does that. Whatever the kids call that. I don't know what it is. I'm too old now.
I don't know.
I can't remember what it's called, but that's kind of what it looks like. And those things, but yeah, a little bit of something, you know, like let's say it's hard. I mean, we don't make games. We're not programmers. We don't know, but
not at all.
Like let's say you know, throw an enemy off the stage and she would just like do a little cheer or something like that, you know, like something small like that would be kind of fun, but
anything, just a shake all day. And you know what, like this game, So most of the games that we know for like Nintendo 64 are like more of that 3D. So they're using the hardware, right? But this game is 2.5, I guess, because it's kind of 3D, but not really.
Yeah.
So I feel like they weren't even using all of the power of the Nintendo 64. So maybe they're cutting back on funds. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they could have done a little bit more with it. It's a platformer. It wasn't like a 3D open world kind of game. So I feel like they did have space to kind of play with it more, maybe be a little bit more, with the voice acting and such. But it's not bad, but I feel like they could have done give me a little more than shake,
I think, Yeah, yeah. I think
that's my complaint.
No, hey, fair enough. Hey, it is what it is. I think part of it's so strange because some of the games I've played already, and I'm sure ones that I'll play as I continue, it seems like early games in the first like 2 years, 96, 97, unless it was a Nintendo developed game like Mario 64 or like Zelda, for example, like it seems like the developers had so much less to work with and less information, and it's really like, I think that restricted a little bit of what they feel like they could have pulled off, because Jet Force Gemini, for example, was out 3 years after this game, or 2.5 years after this game, and it does way more with the music. It doesn't have really all that many voices, as a few, but it does so much with the music and so much with the sort of like shooting mechanics and all these. Yeah, it's a different game, but there's so much more going on in it. I don't know that game could have been made in 97 like this one was. Like, I don't know that they could have and I'm just grasping at straws here. I don't really know 100%, but it feels like when I look up the development of these games and I look up the year that they're released, like if a game is starting to be developed in 98 and comes out in 2000, and then this one's starting to be developed in 95, it's tough, right? You can't. I agree. I wish there was more. I don't disagree with you at all. I think it would like elevate the game for sure. I just almost wish that the game came out in 98 or in 99 and it would have had that, I think.
True. And from what I know, like the guys that made this, I think it's Treasure. I think it's like literally like such a small group of people who probably had to wear like many hats to develop this game and such. So, and it's funny, like those guys, they worked for, I think, Konami.
Yes,
so those
a few of them did. Yeah,
they were like working on like Castlevania and freaking Contra and stuff, and they also made Gunstar Heroes, which is. Have you ever played Gunstar Heroes?
I've dabbled in it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's so good. And you can kind of see like some of the influence from there in this game, like the throwing, the gun shooting. It's a run and gun type of game. So I actually appreciated that. Not that I knew that back then, but I was like, oh, that's so freaking cool. Like the same team kind of brought this here. But back to the point is that they're a small team, small developers. They do the best that they can.
Yeah.
So that's why I can't really give them like too much crap about like, oh, give me another phrase, like.
Still, it's just it's because you have so much love for the game that you want as much as you could possibly get out of it, right? That's kind of how it is, and that's totally fair. I mean, I've had that with other games too, where like, Diddy Kong Racing is a great game in my opinion. But do I wish there was like more characters or more tracks? Yes, sure, fine. But that's because I love the game and I just want to keep playing it. Like that's why.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean it's a bad game. Doesn't mean you like it any less. It's just I
mean, we can have like gripes about a game. It doesn't mean that it's terrible. Like I said, like what game's a 10 out of 10? You know what I mean?
Especially on the 64.
That's another podcast, guys. But I also feel like the reason I kind of gravitated to this game is because and I know it's Nintendo 64, so we're supposed to kind of move forward, but it kind of reminded me of a lot of Super Nintendo platformers, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
And so like I did enjoy Super Mario 64. I did, but I played that game like a few months ago and I hated it. I hated it. I said there's too much happening. I just want to go left to right almost. Like that's just where I thrive. And so like it just reminded me of those Super Nintendo platformers, you know, like Mega Man. I thought it was Mega Man's girlfriend when I first saw this shit. I
Hey,
was like,
that's
oh, this
totally
is fantastic.
fair. That's totally fair. I could see that. Yeah. I mean, you know what?
All right.
I enjoy Mega Man games, but man, I suck at them. I am so
I
bad at
suck at them
so bad.
so
They
bad.
kick my ass all the time. It doesn't matter which one it is. I think I had X or X2. I don't remember exactly how they did it for Super Nintendo. I had one of them where you could
Yeah.
play. Oh my god, this is terrible. What's the guy with the sword? Is it Zero? Is that his name?
Zero. Yeah.
Yeah. Where you could play as him. I was like, oh, cool. I got a Mega Man guy with a sword, like that's or a blade or whatever. That's kind of why I liked it. But did I ever beat it? Probably not. I probably beat like
Oh
3
my God,
bosses,
those
and
games
that was
are
it.
like
So
murder.
and they're supposed to be. They're supposed
honestly,
to be
that was like,
difficult. So
yeah,
you know.
like they've historically always been hard. Like, oh, my little Mega Man's here, by the way. Oh, I just broke him, but he's here.
Oh yeah, hey, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, like I played 2 a few months ago, and I was like, oh, how the hell did we do this back
Yeah.
then? It's just so damn hard, you know.
Yeah, I agree. And this,
I love
like you
those
said,
games.
I think Mischief Makers has aspects of those games. Like you can see that there's influence there. You can see that there's similar ideas, and the core mechanic of like grabbing something and throwing it, I think is pretty cool and different, and I like that it had that. But the other, like the actual like jumping and the boosting and things like that, like yeah, it feels like a 2D platformer from a couple years prior that would have been on their
Definitely.
previous console, and that's not a bad thing because, like we both said, the SNES is fucking amazing, so that's all good.
Amazing,
Isn't it?
amazing. And I think that's where I was like thriving. I was like, oh, this is just like a glorified 16-bit, game on my new system. So I'm just gonna rock out and
Yeah.
I have no complaints.
and you
So good.
kicked its butt, so there you go.
It's awesome. I really
Amazing.
think it's such. I don't even want to say it's underrated, but it's more like I don't even know. It's unappreciated. I think.
Yeah, and
Just
I
its impact on.
yeah, exactly. I don't think it's a home run personally for the gameplay wise and everything. Like there's aspects of it where I'm like, okay, I don't love this, but I don't think that it's a game that people should avoid either. So I think it's a really good sort of like, for me, it feels like, and again, I'm not far into the library of the games as of this recording, but it doesn't really matter. Like I feel like it's gonna be somewhere in the middle. I feel like it's gonna be somewhere in the middle for me, and that's totally fine. That's it. It is what it is, and it's
Come on, at least top 10. Well, you have so many to go, so
that's
I'll
the
wait.
thing. Yeah. Wait, just wait a couple decades before I get through this entire library, I guess. It's again.
God willing, I'll be around.
Yeah, I know, me too. But there's lots of there's not that many 2D platformers at this point, and this is going to be probably definitely one of the more unique ones for sure.
Absolutely.
And on a lot of different ways, and that's enough for me. Is that right? It's unique. It's 2D. It doesn't always have to be the same as everything else. Just because you have 64 bits doesn't mean you have to go 3D. And for the most part, I think they did a pretty good job with it. So,
Thank you. Let's give Mischief Makers its flowers. I do have one question though.
Yes.
What do you think about using the D-pad as opposed to the sticks?
Right.
Being that it's on, Nintendo 64.
So here's so the fact that it's on 64 and they didn't use it feels strange because it's like, why wouldn't you just utilize what you have? But I also am this type of player, and this is probably because I had a Super Nintendo, played a lot of NES at friends' places and Genesis, and
Nice.
when there is a 2D platformer, even nowadays, like even difficult ones like Celeste and Dead Cells and things like that, like those.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not quite a platformer, but you know what I mean. Those types of games. Even if it's a new Mario game, even when the new one comes out for Switch,
Can't wait.
Me too. When it comes out, if it allows me to use the D-pad, I will default to a D-pad on a 2D plane for a game. So
Totally.
I'm
Makes
total.
sense.
I am totally fine with it in this game. It doesn't bother me. Not utilizing two of the more unique aspects, I would say, of the 64 controller is a little odd. Like no Z or Z button, no joystick. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But as I'm playing it, I'm not like sad about it either. So
Like, oh man, I can't use the use the stick. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. Maybe because it's a 2D plane, like my mind goes to, well, I don't need to go diagonal because it's on a 2D plane.
Exactly.
So that's why I usually never use a joystick unless like the game really wants you to for certain maneuvers or something. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. I can probably pull it off better with a joystick no matter what console it's on. But I just, my mind has a hard time wrapping itself around. This is just old me. Old man yelling at cloud,
old us.
Yeah, it just
in
not
our day.
exactly. So I think that's part of it. So yeah, it's a little strange, but didn't bother me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like game breaking or anything of the sort.
No.
Actually, makes it. I mean, it's not a problem at all. But
Yeah.
I know people are like, well, if it's on the Nintendo 64, how come we're not using? You know what I mean?
Well, one of my favorite 64 games and games in general of all time is WWF No Mercy. I just love
No Mercy.
I love that game so much. That uses the D-pad on a 3D game, and it never crosses my mind that it's a problem. Never was then, isn't now, and I will play that game for days on end. I absolutely love it, and
That's awesome.
it's not a problem. So it is.
Yeah,
it's
not a
fine.
problem.
It's totally fine.
Yeah,
It's all good.
Perfect. That's all I need to hear.
Well, Slonko, I want to say thank you for coming on and bringing this game. Honestly, when I get to play something that is this unique, when I get to play something I have very little experience in, and someone, like I said off the top, is someone that's passionate about it. Thank you for bringing it more to the forefront.
No, I'm proud to be a Mischief Makers ambassador. I hope if you can get your hands on this game that people actually give it a chance, especially if you really appreciate platformers. I think personally it's in my top 10 on Nintendo 64.
Amazing.
Hands down. For me.
Nice.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. This was awesome.
It was a pleasure to have Slonko Bomb on the show and talk about Mischief Makers. I love finding these types of games that I am only vaguely familiar with or haven't played at all or have very little experience with. This one is definitely a unique one, very early in the console's life cycle as well, so it's always cool to look that far back. And I just want to say thank you to her for being on the show once again for Remember 64. And check out her stuff on YouTube. As we were mentioning, it is fantastic and a whole lot of fun and all about the positivity, which we love. And of course, here on Remember 64, you can always support us at Patreon, patreon.com/Remember64show. And if you are a new sign-up, you can just shoot me an email, say that you are, and I will have a holographic sticker on its way to your mailbox. You can check out what it looks like on the Patreon page, and then sign up for there as little as $1 a month. Any level, any tier on Patreon will get one of those for free in the mail. On top of that, feel free to give us a rating on your podcast app of choice. Of course, Spotify, Apple are much preferred and appreciated. But that's pretty much it for Remember 64. We have some pretty great games coming down the pipe, so stay tuned for that, including a special one. If you are listening to this when this episode is out, a special GoldenEye episode will be coming up, so stay tuned for that, and find us on social media at Remember64show, where I will be hyping that up as much as I possibly can. But until next time, everybody, we'll see you soon on Remember 64.